Hey all, it's the 2nd of January 2025. In this video, I'm just going to look at a potential heavy snow event for Ireland and the UK that's coming up in a few days. And the thing about this event is that it looks like the snow is going to settle and then stick, particularly over northern UK, southern Scotland, into northern England, and then also over Ireland and Northern Ireland. So let's just jump in with it. We've got this big old frontal band just draped all the way across, all the way towards Russia from the East Atlantic into Russia. And to the north of that, we've got snow showers or wintry showers coming down through the North Sea. This is bringing snowfall to the north of Scotland, but the big deal here is that there's going to be a low pressure system that comes in over the next few days that's going to bump up against that cold air and bring potentially really heavy snowfall for the northern UK into Scotland. We'll take a look at that, and that could be very persistent too because it turns cold afterwards. Before we look at the snowfall, let's take a look at the temperatures, and these are the 2-meter temperatures predicted by the European Santa model, and you can see the front from that was on the satellite imagery. You can see it as a sharp boundary between warmer air over the Atlantic and colder air to the north, and that stretches into Europe and kind of gets a bit mixed up, but that is that frontal area. So over the UK right now, super cold. Over Ireland, the blues indicate below freezing. But as we go forward, what we're going to see is a storm system moving in, and that's indicated by warm air getting pushed up in the warm sector. So we'll see that the warm bulge is appearing there out in the Atlantic, and that's moving towards the UK. As it moves up, the temperatures pick up over southern UK as it moves through. But the thing here is that the warm air does spread over the southern UK. So London, it's 13, but look at the north, it never gets to the north, and that's the key thing. So it remains cold over the north, and particularly over the northern hills. The mild air pushes up a bit further, but still from North England north into Scotland, that cold air remains, and then it passes through. And afterwards, the winds then swing round to the north. You get that plunge of cold air, and we're back into cold conditions. So any snow that falls is likely to stick around for a long time, because as we go forward, that cold air remains for a long period of time. We're up to the 9th of January here, so even potentially snow in northern England lasting for a long period of time, for maybe a couple of weeks or so. We'll see. Let's look at the snowfall. Here's the snowfall predicted by the European Centre model. So at the moment, you've got that northerly flow coming down, showers coming off the North Sea, and lots of snow in, but limited mainly to the north-facing coasts of Scotland. A little bit coming into Northern Ireland and the northern parts of Ireland. So let's go forward and see that storm system moving in. As we move forward towards Friday and then into Saturday, we see the storm system coming up from the southwest. It's bumping up against that colder air. We see quite a lot of snow appearing in Ireland to start with. It moves up, and then you've got snow spreading all the way down to London actually for a period of time in the European Centre model. But that doesn't last long for London in this case. Rather, the snow is pushed up towards northern areas of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and northern England, and into southern Scotland in particular. But it's really northern England that gets kind of the worst of it, and there we see on Sunday we've got 3 hours accumulation of 10 centimeters in northern England. These are really heavy snowfall amounts right there, and then it actually lasts and persists, and you see the temperatures don't get above very warm at all. So that snow is going to persist on the ground. We'll look at the total snow depths in a moment. Actually, really quite a severe situation for the northern UK by the looks of things. I also want to check the winds to consider the drifting of snow with this event. Here are the winds. The storm system back down to the southwest of the UK and Ireland comes in. Winds pick up. I put a little banner in here for the northeastern or the east coast just offshore, and yeah, the winds really pick up quite a lot. We've got 20 knots sustained, 24 knots, So this is when that heavy snow hits the north of England. So we're looking at not just really, really heavy snow, particularly over the hills, but this is going to drift. I think this is a very severely disruptive event if this model turns out. So we'll just check quickly what the GFS looks like. This is another model. So that's the European Centre model at that time, which is late. That's on Sunday. So the times are in Australian times. I can't change that, unfortunately, because I'm in Australia. And that's my clock setting on my computer. Defaults to that. So the GFS has a similar outcome, maybe with slightly less snow at that point in time, but it's probably just a timing matter. But it keeps that, yeah, heavy snow is just a little bit to the south. But generally the pattern is the same. The snow is mainly over the land, and probably an indication that it's mainly going to be just a little bit into the hills, the real worst of it. So the next thing is to look at how long this snow is going to last. This is a model prediction of the actual snow depth. So as we go forward, you see the snow depth is mainly concentrated up in Scotland, over the hills, particularly over the far north. As that storm system moves in, we're going to see these values skyrocket, will go up quite a lot. So we're into Saturday now, and then moving forward, we see the storm system come in. Heavy snow, rapid accumulations over Ireland, over most of the country, apart from the far south. Got 6 centimeters on the ground there, 7 centimeters. Going to go up more. Looks like in the central west, 22 centimeters. Very rapid accumulations, disruptive snow for Ireland. And then the focus becomes more towards the north of England and south of Scotland, where we see some really big accumulations. And we're going up to above 25 centimeters, and this is the snow on the ground in the hills, getting up to 28.3, and this will be drifting, heavily drifting into large drifts. Now, the key thing of interest here is that this snow is then going to persist because those temperatures are not dropping. So right now, if you picture it, it's the 6th of January, and the north of England is snow covered, Scotland snow covered, Ireland is snow covered, Northern Ireland is snow covered. And as we go forward, we're going to see some areas melting, some shifting around, but that snow depth remains, and that's what makes this quite unusual, because that cold air persisting. So we're into the 8th of January now, and as we go forward, we can go forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. We're now on the 12th of January. Eventually, there is some melting. But that's a long period of time to have persistent snow over the north of England in particular. It looks like it persists well into mid-January in the European Centre model. If we look at the total snowfall rather than the snow on the ground, this gives the total amount of snow that actually falls. So we go forward to Sunday, and we see the total snowfall from today in towards Tuesday the 7th. And here you can see in North England we've got accumulations over those days of over 40 centimeters, and probably the highest is in the Lake District there, just about 40, 43, 44, and also in central southern Ireland we've got values of over 40 centimeters. So really quite large values for the UK for sure, and for Ireland. So I'm going to leave it at that for today. This is a view captured by Sentinel-2, looking down on the Shetland Islands, and you can see the snow showers that have been coming down from the north. The Shetland Islands are down here with a bit of snow cover at this point. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting few days, particularly for Northern England, Ireland, Southern Scotland, Northern Ireland. Let's get looking at it, hopefully in a future video. Catch you later.